Hey BookTube, it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel, The Book Bag. Today I'm going to be doing a reading journal setup. So the tarot card that I chose for this setup is the Empress, who represents material and intellectual wealth, overflowing creativity. So it's a card that represents powerful creativity, and I thought that would be perfect for the reading journal that I'm setting up because I want it to be a bit more creative and a bit less structured than my normal bullet journal. This was inspired by several other YouTubers and booktubers, but especially by Jenny from This Story Ain't Over. I really liked her way of setting up her reading journal, and I thought it would be kind of fun to have my own so I could keep track of books I wanted to read, as well as keep track of my most anticipated books of the year that were coming out, when they were going to be coming out, and books I wanted to reread, and then also just to be able to have kind of a snapshot of each month's reading and which books I really enjoyed and which ones I didn't. So the first setup I did after my title page was my most anticipated reads of 2021. This was one of the spreads that Jenny had in her reading journal that I thought was super cool, and it's basically just a way for me to track which books are coming out this year that I want to read and or buy, and be able to see when they come out so that I can look for them when it's closer to their release date. So I had just printed out the covers of my most anticipated books. I think I had something like 30 of them, maybe a couple more, and I just made them all the same size on Word and printed them out, and now I'm just cutting them out individually. The notebook that I'm using for my reading journal doesn't have any dots or lines or anything, it's just a blank notebook. And I was really missing those dots when I was doing this part because I didn't have any reference for like how things would line up and how to make them straight and how to keep the spacing between them even. So I used my ruler a lot because I wanted to get them at least somewhat straight and in line, but it was a struggle and honestly really missed those dotted journals. I didn't really plan this page out super well. I didn't check how many covers would fit per page, and so I ended up with this weird amount of books that I was looking forward to, where I have the one full page and then the one line and this super weird space right here that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. I'll think of something, but right now it's just kind of haunting me. Once I had all my covers glued down and my release dates written out, I used my gold jelly roll pen to put a check mark next to the ones I had ordered or pre-ordered, and then I also have my silver jelly roll pen there that I can use to mark books once I've read them. So the next spread I have here is my list of books to reread this year. I have been trying to reread some of the books that I own because I see them all the time on my bookshelves and I'm like, oh man, that was such a great book, would love to relive that. But then I look at my list of books that I have to read, my TBR list, and I'm like, oh my god, I have so many books to read. So I end up just never rereading the books. So I made it part of my Goodreads challenge this year to reread at least one book every month. So I took some of the books that I have with me and printed off the covers so that I could keep track of the books that I reread, what date I reread them, and then I also put a little space for notes about the books, things I notice when I reread them, or just general thoughts and whether or not I still enjoy them as much as I did when I first read them. On the next page, I have my first monthly reviews page. I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a page for each month to review my best and worst books of the month, so I can remember which books really stood out as being either wonderful or terrible. And for May, I had this little bit of craft paper that I crumpled up from a package that I had received. And then to correspond with my bullet journal theme, I have the little goose from Untitled Goose Game, and it looks like he's trying to rip the paper apart and maybe steal it for himself. I'll put a link to my May bullet journal setup in the card so you can take a look at my whole Untitled Goose Game theme there. And then I have a little speech bubble sticker that I had around, and I put that on there too, and it just says honk. Then I just went back and spruced up some of the pages with a little bit of washi tape. I see a lot of bullet journalers do this, where they just have the little strips of washi tape around. That looked kind of fun, so I decided I would try it for myself. I still have no idea what to do with this giant white space on my most anticipated releases spread, so if any of you guys have any ideas, please let me know because it's kind of driving me a little bit crazy. Hope you guys enjoyed my reading journal setup. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.